So this first program is similar to the one you need to create. And so I do suggest copying it and then pasting it in to Visual Studio, and then you can actually run it and see how it works. And I'm going to describe what all of the code is doing. So the first thing we do is create a members list, and it's a string. And we'll play computer here. So we've got something called members, and we know that it is a list. And in position 0, we've got initialization here. So we've got Mickey in there. Position 1 or subscript 1, index 1 here, we got Minnie. In index 2, we got Donald. And we got Daisy. All right, and then we've got something called name, which we haven't put anything into yet. And we've got name array, which actually does not have any memory space yet. So we're not doing anything with that quite yet. And then we've got menu. And then it says, please make a selection from the menu. And how this is going to display with these escape sequence in here, these are new lines. So each one of these is going to be on a separate line. And that is what the /n does. And I can run this just so you can see that that /n puts each one of these on a separate line. So we got the menu displayed. And now it says we're going to make a choice. So we're going to choose 1, 2, 3, or 4. And whatever our choice is going to go into this menu variable. So let's pick a 1. So we can add, or no, we'll print the list. Okay, so 1 prints. And as long as we don't pick a 4, we are going to stay in this loop. So here's where the loop starts and here's where it stops. So this is the code that's going to execute as long as we don't pick a 4. And you see we have a nested if else here for the menu. So if they pick a 1, which we did, it calls print list and it passes members. Members is our list. Okay, so let's go down and take a look at print list. Print list is pulling in our string list. And while we are in print list, we are going to be calling that list mem, short for member. So now we are down in print list. And this is what our list looks like. And the first thing we do is we sort it. So now it is going to be in alphabetic order. So our list is going to have Daisy, Donald, Mickey, and Minnie in that order. Okay, and then we do a for each to print. And remember, S is an alias. So it's going to print in that sorted order, and it's going to return. So why don't we go ahead and execute that? Okay, so it printed in the sorted order and it returned. So it prints here and then it kind of skips over, goes down to this line, menu is displayed, and now it is waiting for us to make another choice. Okay. And this is very typical of a while loop. Whatever condition you're checking, at the very bottom of the loop, you give the person an opportunity to change the value. So we're going to be reading in from the menu again. So once we exit the print list method, everything that was in there gets erased. So poof, it's gone. And now we're back at the menu. So let's pick a 2. Okay, so it's not a 4 and it's not a 1. It is a 2. So we are going to call add list. Add list is returning a name array. So this is where our little name array is going to get filled in. So let's call add list. Let's go down, take a look. You can see add list is not receiving anything, but it is returning that string array. So now we are in add list. How many members do you wish to add? So we're creating another variable here called number, and it's only going to exist while we are in add list. Let's say they want to add 2. Okay. And then here we are creating an array of 2. Okay. We're calling it new members. So we've got new members, and it is an array of 2, which means we will have a subscript at 0, and we will have one at 1. Okay. Then we get into our for loop. And so basically it's going to go through 2 times. One to fill in this, one to fill in that, and then it'll be done. So we say member name, and then we actually are reading it directly in to new members. So let's say they decide to do Goofy and Pete. Okay. And then it's done with the loop. It returns our new member array. Where does it return it to? Returns it to here. So then it takes that new member array and puts it into the name array. So now our name array has values, right? It has those values from the method. So now name array in position 0 has Goofy, and in position 1 has Pete. And everything that was in our add list is erased. Okay, so we're done with the array. Now we got the next statement to execute. So what this does is it takes the array and it adds it to the bottom of our members. So then our members, adding 2 more people. Okay, so that's what happens there. And then we kind of skip over the else, and now we're displaying the list again, or the menu list. So let's go ahead and run this just like we walked through. How many members do you wish to add? We're going to do 2. We're going to do Goofy, and we're going to do Pete. Okay. And just to show you that this actually is our list, I'm going to go ahead and print it. Okay, so you can see Pete and Goofy are in there now. So it's displaying the menu, and now we're going to pick a 3 so that we can delete from the list. So now we've got the 3. And we come down here where menu is a 3. And we're not calling a method here. It just says enter the name of the person you want removed from the list. And we are setting name equal to that. So let's get rid of Pete. So now name is Pete. Just because we say Pete is in the list, it does not mean that he is there. So we're using the contain method to look for Pete in our members list. If Pete is in the members list, if that is true, then we're going to remove Pete and display a message that they've been deleted. Otherwise, if they're not in our list, we're going to give them a message to say, hey, that name doesn't exist, try again. Okay. So let's run this and remove Pete. We want to remove Pete. And it says the name has been deleted. Now let's try it. And let's do a different name that's not in the list. Let's see. Scrooge. Sorry, that name does not exist. Okay, that's why we put the if check in there. Okay. So now we've done everything except for quit. So now let's go ahead and quit. We're going to do a 4. And it is done. Okay, so you are going to do something similar in your assignment. So it's going to be similar to the example, but instead of a list of members, you are going to have a bucket list. And this should be a list of places you'd like to visit. So you're going to initialize your list with 4 places, just like we got 4 names up here. You are going to have 4 places that you want to visit. Create a menu that lets the user select an option to print the sorted list, add to the list, delete from the list, or quit, just like the example. Use a while loop to keep the program running while the user selects until the user selects the quit option, just like the example. You're going to create a nested if else to check the menu choices, just like this nested if else. So if they choose to print, call a print method that sorts the list and then prints. If they choose to add, call an add method. The add method should allow them to determine how many new locations you want to add, and then it should return an array. If they choose to delete, then you can either have them enter the index number or the location they want to delete. Make sure you use contains to confirm that it exists. Okay, so it's just like the example, but it is a bucket list.